Peace, love, and power, family. I want to remind you to be mindful of not being distracted by what you see, because that's just what it is. It's a distraction from the things you do not see. So many of you all already know that this war that we're in, that we've been in for so many years, of being oppressed, of not knowing who we are, has been a spiritual war. It's always been spiritual. So in being mindful of what you're seeing when you see wars, it's not to say that may or may not be happening. But the trap has always been to make you feel like your spirituality didn't exist, because that's what they're fighting you with. Your enemy gets the upper hand when they study you, but then trick you not to know you. So in this spiritual warfare, you can't go to church and be praying about it. That's not going to work. That's what they taught you. Why would they teach you something that's going to work if they're trying to keep you where you are? And even if, or though they know that they're not winning, they're still going to do everything to distract you and prolong it as long as they can. I keep saying, you have to be mindful and listen and pay attention and listen to your inner self. Listen to your higher self. Listen to whoever you listen to. The God in you, the God above you, however you see that. Because that's how you know what you know. And no one can tell you differently. I saw a quote today that Malcolm X stated, and it said something similar to, don't quote me exactly, but it said, be careful of reading the newspaper, because it'll have you hating the people that are oppressed and liking the people that's doing the oppressing. And I feel like it's exactly what you're dealing with today. If you are watching, except the news ain't paper, you know what I'm saying? That's why I said be mindful of the distractions. If you're watching the news, pay attention. Look at it intuitively. Remember, I said they're going to distract you with the things you cannot see. They're going to put things in your face, but that's a distraction for what you can't see. Don't be out here hating the oppressed and liking the oppressor, or you don't even know the difference. That's basically what he was saying. You don't even know the difference. You think that people look like you, your friend, and they might be your enemy. And you think the people that don't look like you may be against you, and they may be for you. That's why you have to go within and know what you know. I said in the beginning, the war has always been spiritual. I feel like they said something like, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual principalities, right? They did tell you that much. So it's like you have to know how to discern, decipher, use your intuition. They are not going to tell you the truth about who you are, because who you are would not have allowed them to defeat you, especially for this long. Remember, even if you play the fool for a minute, when you wake up and you know your power and you know who you are, you already know what to do to stop being a fool. So that's why they're not going to tell you. They're going to continue to make you feel like rituals and witchcraft and voodoo and all the things that were a part of the original beings to this earth, to this land, a part of our practices, a part of our spirituality and who we are. They're going to tell you it's wrong, but they've been using it on you all along. The war has been spiritual. How you think they've been keeping you trapped? But if you knew how to go within, if you knew how to listen to your spirit, because you are a human being, you are a spiritual being having a human experience, not the other way around. So that means you were spirit first, right? So how are the things that they're telling you not to look at not a part of you? The difference is how you use them. But if you look within, if you knew how to listen to your spirit, you would know that. You would know that every ritual is not evil. You would know that there is a difference between good and evil. I guess if we want to use those words for the sake of the message. You would know that different practices do different things. But it's easy to persuade somebody when you're trying to keep them in a lower state, not to look over there. And even the book they gave you to look in, you can't read it word for word. You have to read it intuitively to know that, yeah, a lot of it is the truth. But you won't know it because you're not even able to see it that way. You're not even able to discern it that way. So just be mindful for those who really don't feel like we're in spiritual warfare and they just going along. They're still in their sleep state and they're just going. They don't even know what's going on. Also be mindful if you know that we're dealing with a spiritual warfare, but you feel like you're going to fight it the way you've been fighting it. And that's not going to work. You cannot turn your cheek and think you're not going to get slapped on the other one. You cannot fight somebody physically and they're fighting you spiritually. That's how they're tricking you. You don't even see that coming if they told you not to even look at that. That's evil. That's wrong. Don't do that. You're not going to even look that way to know how to defend yourself. That's how they whooping you. You got to fight spirit with spirit. That just is what it is. And how you going to do that if you don't even know how to truly tap into your spirit to know what you need to do? I don't feel like it's too late. I just feel like don't let it be too late. Don't sit there too long thinking one thing and you don't at least try to discern and listen to your own spirit about the truth and what you should do. Peace and power for the journey, family.